Desperate for Impact. A Short Walk by Lucien Maier. His heart felt like it stopped. He had heard what the doctor said, but he sat slack-faced. His family gone. The car accident. His wife and the first and the one in her belly were gone. Richard's life was no more. The doctor laid a comforting hand on his shoulder. Richard didn't even feel it, the tears flooding him as he collapsed. His brother met him at home, and the next few weeks stayed with him. Richard came around slowly to his daily routine with Riley's help. Riley decided to stay with Richard permanently, mostly because he was alone before the accident, and now Richard had invited him to come stay in the large home. Riley had never really held a job, and he loved cartoons and staying up late, but Richard decided it was worth paying for Riley to keep the silence away. They sat on some lawn chairs on the back deck of the home. "I want to make a difference, Riley," Richard said. Riley rolled his eyes. "What? You're always saying that junk." "Now, I'm not a prominent physicist like you are, but even I know that's not possible," Riley said firmly. "What are you talking about?" Richard asks, as the sun slips into the horizon. "Okay, Superman, let's say you cure cancer. You will be hailed as a hero to this generation, but in 100 years they won't even remember cancer, and therefore you will have not made an impact. But even if the history books held your name forever, it's just human history. In the great scheme of things, even that would not matter. Even Hitler, with all the evil he did, made no impact," Riley said. Richard was aghast. "How can you say that?" he asked. "Because he didn't. What the hell does it matter if someone kills millions to the rest of the universe? No, in the big picture, none of us can make an impact. Not on reality, which is the entire cosmos," Riley said, and took a drink of his beer. Richard sat quietly. Riley was right. Nothing he could do would ever mean anything. Richard agonized over it all night, in bed tossing and turning. Finally, he decided to get out of bed. He walked into the kitchen and started doing dishes, and dumped out a full plate of food Riley had not touched, and a full glass of beer Riley had not touched. Richard shook his head at his brother. He watched the sunrise, and that is when he realized he could have an impact. He barely got a shower and dressed when he was in a rush to get to his lab. He did not come home for 2 days, but when he did, Riley was still there. They spoke again, but this time Richard smiled at his brother. Within a matter of weeks, he would prove him and the world wrong, and Richard would have his impact, the first human to be known for something forever. The next month and a half were a blur of work to Richard. He had the device ready in a week or two, but the rest of the time was spent planning on a way to get it into space. He now taxied his Cessna onto the runway and took off. He got maximum altitude and launched the rocket carrying Impact, as he'd named the device. Based off the design of Spaceship One, he was able to achieve orbit, and from the comfort of his home PC he launched Impact into space. The journey to the sun would take a month. Richard began to miss work and spend his days hanging out with Riley, although they did not speak of impacting the world. The day came. Richard sat on his deck looking at the last of the status reports from Impact. "All systems go," the screen blinked. He shut the lid on the laptop and put it aside. Riley came out with a few beers and sat down. "What you up to, bro?" "Making an impact," Richard said with a large smile on his face. "You're chasing a dream, Rich. There's no way to do it," Riley mused. "Yeah, there is, and I've done it." "You're right that no one can have an impact, if all you impact is human history. The only way to have an impact is to do something the whole cosmos will notice," Richard said. "All right, so what you got figured out for that, genius brother?" Riley snorted. "Gravity collapse. I built a device that can collapse gravity. It's only a few minutes away from the sun now," Richard grinned. Riley's face was horrified. "If you set that thing off, wouldn't it—" Riley trailed off, realizing how his brother had intended to make his impact. "It will make our sun supernova, and the whole cosmos will see us, and my impact will be made," Richard said. No, Richard," Riley said. "No one will know it's you, and the rest of the cosmos will merely see it as a star supernovaing." "It is not that uncommon," Riley said. Richard's face slipped into white. "No, Richard, you're not making an impact. In fact, the only way one could make an impact is to do their part to ensure that the human race is protected, so we, as a race, can make an impact. In one fell swoop, you've not only not achieved impact, But you're going to destroy any hope we as a race have to make any impact, Riley said, a grin washing over his face. You're confused, brother. You have been since you lost your family, Riley said. He began to shimmer in the dimming light. Richard sat white-faced with fear as his brother slowly disappeared. Riley died when I was 15, Richard said to himself. The second beer glass was still full, because Riley had never been there. Riley had died years ago. Richard ripped open his laptop and tried to connect to Impact, but the computer returned time after time. No connection. It was too late. Richard began to cry. He had condemned them all. All over the world, the people noticed it. The sun was going dimmer and dimmer, and then it was night, but even darker than usual, as the sun was not reflecting on the moon any longer. People were scared, but only for a moment, and then the light started to come back, and it grew brighter, and brighter, and brighter, until they could not stand it anymore, and then it got brighter, and even brighter, and the people were incinerated, and soon the planet with it. Months passed, and the sun was gone. The Earth, Mars, Mercury were all completely gone, consumed by the fires of the supernova. Richard had made his impact, but no one or anything would ever know what he had done. In his desperate race for impact, Richard forgot that no one person can make an impact. We need to work together. And one day, many generations after you pass, your impact will be felt and will make a difference.